Hello, this is Justice Backstrom, and welcome back to God, Guns, and Gaming. Today, I'm going to be talking about this, the shutdown in general, but more specifically the EBT, SNAP, food benefits, food stamps being cut off. When it first was like, food stamps are going to be cut off, I was kind of like, there's the whole joke about like, oh, get a job, but I was kind of like, that kind of sucks, for those people that need it. But seeing some of the reaction to this, the absolute entitlement of some of these people has kind of like changed my mind to where I'm like, hey, keep it closed, And again, there is, I think, somewhat of a need for, like, we can't have people starving, right? Okay, we are the richest country on earth. We have way too much food, way more food than we need. Like, we have eliminated the problem of food, which has been the major struggle of humanity for like 6,000 years. And we can't have that and also have starvation be a problem, all right? Now, I have always been and always will be of the opinion that charities and volunteerism should be the main preventing measure against starvation, against poverty in general. And but there is an issue, especially if you are in a rural area and there isn't enough of a food bank / charitable support system. There does basically need to be something for those people who wouldn't be able to access, or and some people like don't really know about those charitable options. I don't know about churches that have food pantries and stuff like that. So having a dedicated government service for that does make some sense. Because then it's those people's job, and it's not something they do on the time. It's not something they do on their own time that they would not be able to do some weeks, some months, whatever. And again, I think like even in the church there should be people who are more or less set aside full time to doing those things. But we see that in Act 6 where they selected 7 ministers to the sole position of food donations, basically. So again, in a perfect world we wouldn't need the government to be involved in this at all, but it's not, so it makes sense to have something of that. But this is a safety net, that, like, as in like you fall down and you need to be caught. It's not for people to live off of long term. So the same thing goes for unemployment benefits. Now personally, I also think like unemployment and unemployment tax, and that shouldn't be that should be something that you can opt into. You should be able to say, hey, I'm not going to be unemployed, and if I am, I'm not going to accept benefits for it, so I don't want to have to pay into that system. Now, you could say, like, too many people wouldn't do it, and there wouldn't be any money in the system for the people that actually need it. But I don't know. That's an entirely different topic for a different day. But unemployment and food stamps, stuff like that, should be, you should only be able to be on it for a month, maybe 2 months, absolute maximum 6 months. All right. Definitely for unemployment. For food stamps, like, I suppose there are some people who are, you know, they're working full-time, but they're minimum wage. They don't have much upwards mobility. They're not promotion material, but like they have it as like a single mother with kids. Well, I guess if she's a mother, then she would have kids. That would go without saying. But anyways, someone like that who doesn't have the means to get to work for themselves, or to actually provide for themselves, I don't know, could they be on it for a longer term? Maybe. The ideal scenario would be, you know, get married and like either have dual income or at least like stay at home so you don't have to pay for expensive childcare services, right? And then you just need, the bottom line is you need a lot of oversight to actually verify that the people who are receiving these benefits genuinely need it. All right, I've seen a lot, and there's a new X account called EBT of TikTok. But you look at the reactions of these people losing their EBT, and they are so entitled. And there's two types of people that I really have an issue with. One is the people who have a job and still are on it, and the other is the people who have no intention of finding a job and are just living off benefits. Those may seem like opposite, and they kind of are opposite ends of the spectrum, but either way, they are people who don't genuinely need it and are just using it. The other thing is, like, how much money we're actually giving to these people. And it's supposed to be, in my understanding, it's supposed to be supplemental, food benefits. Like, you're not exactly supposed to just be living off of it. You should, it's supposed to be for people who, maybe can buy like some of their food but can't buy all of it. At least in some cases, like depending on how much the person actually has. But like, there's no need to be giving like $500 a month per person. Like, I made a video a couple months ago about the fact that you can still live off of minimum wage in 2025, and for that, after that, in that I said that you could probably eat off of about $50 a month, and I did it. I was gonna make a separate video for that, but I'll probably just end up throwing some of the footage and stuff on my unedited channel. But anyways, I ate for 30 days off of $50 worth of food. Now, I'm not saying it should be $50, maybe $150 per person would make more sense, but I saw one lady that was saying that she was getting $4,300 a month. Now, she said she had 6 kids, but I could feed a small army with that. Like, $4,300 is way more than you need. If you got 6 kids plus yourself, first of all, where's your man? But anyways, again, not touching on that right now. For 6 kids and yourself, $1,000, maybe $1,200, like, not $4,300. All right, that's ridiculous. Anyways, though, that's kind of all the thoughts I had on this. I know this was a bit of a rambling and meandering talk here. I'll see what I cut it down to, but that's all I had. Like I said, that's all I had to say on the issue. And if you made it to this point in the video, that's impressive. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.